Hi everyone, welcome to January 24th, 10 minutes to market close here. I just want to go over the sector review with you guys. So the strongest sector today was SMH, at least in the list I have over here. It's a little bit of a different order. We always go through SPX, QQQ, but I thought to change it to go over from the strongest to the weakest sector. So SMH being the strongest, if we look at the weekly chart, all we can see that is, it looks like a very bullish chart here, but what you can see that is might cause a bit of a pullback is just the distance or the percentage away it is from the 5-week moving average. It's about 7% away, and every time that we do get extended, there is a interim pullback. Here we had a 7% away, and then we kind of consolidated that move, went back, and kind of hugged that moving average up. So either we consolidate it up here and just allow the moving average to catch up, so consolidation through time, or we consolidate through price where we have a little bit of a pullback into that moving average. And until then, the trend is still up for the semis. And when that test happens, then we will kind of see if that test breaks, then this could kind of start coming in lower. But so far, what we can see is the trend is still up. XLE energy was the second strongest sector today. And we had a bounce off of this demand supply zone that we had marked earlier. And this week so far, I think, what is that move? Let's see. 2.7% this week, but today's one of the stronger sectors today. KRE, the regional banks, also kind of looking decent, but have some overhead resistance here with a 200-week moving average. XLK, very similar to SMH, following the footsteps there, and similar type of stuff applies of it being extended. But these extensions can last longer as we get later in the stages of a stock's run or cycle. So the later it gets, the more extended it gets, and that's why we have kind of the final euphoric blow off at the end of it. But what would be healthy for it, similar to SMH, if it pulls back or consolidates in time, allows moving averages to catch up, would be a healthier move up for XLK, the tech sector. This is communication services. We haven't kind of gone over this before. It's a new one that I added yesterday or the day before. But so far, it looks like it is being supported by the 5-week and moving up, and all the other moving averages, except there's this crossover here with the 200 and the 50, but the 50 now getting above the 200. So a established trend here with the trend being up for XLC. QQQ. So we have a little bit of a messy chart here, and we can probably remove some of these. But we do have kind of a move up today with a gap up and a sell-off off of this trend line you can see over here. But that major trend line that we're looking at for a few weeks now, price is above that, and it's kind of sandwiched between these two. So and the same thing with SMH. We are extended from the moving average on the weekly. So we could see some consolidation here in QQQ moving forward. USD CAD, we are kind of moving up again. Today it was up 0.5%, and we can see that this move is now this week, if we move to the daily. Yeah, so we had a bit of a pullback here and got supported, and now we're above this this trend line here at the 1.347.348 mark, and we're moving up with the next resistance being 1.356. Moving back to the weekly, you can see XLF looking actually pretty decent. We got over the 38 mark with the resistance for a few weeks, but now we are possibly going to look to close that this week above that resistance. So that is a bullish sign. This is some selling resistance that can come into play, but so far looking good on XLF. I'm going to switch this now over to a green. S&P also looking decent. We still haven't touched our kind of top trend line here, and we could still continue to grind up. The other option is that we could see a bit of a pullback, with the extension being from the moving average. We can consolidate in time or allow the moving average to catch up through price. SPX, we already gone through. Equally weighted, UUP. All right, so metals and mining. On the weekly, we are below the 5-week, with the 5-week pointing down, and that now starts to act as resistance. However, we have an area that has supported us price before, so we could see some support here. If not, then there's that 20-week moving average sitting at the kind of close to the bottom of this zone that could also act as support. But so far, this trend looks not as great, and that's why marked as red. XLY also not being able to get through the 5-week moving average with it pointing down and acting as resistance. This looks, to be a bit on the downside here on XLY, marked as red. RSP is equally weighted S&P. We are, unlike the market cap weighted, we are in the equally weighted. We are not able, price is not able to get above that 5-week moving average. XLI. So XLI was pretty decent, I would say. So price went above and kind of got through this resistance over here with the 5 and the 20 day, and then now retesting that 5 and 20 day. It is still in green until we can hold the support on the daily and the weekly. We are still in the green on XLI trades, but this is kind of getting pretty close. So if this starts to break below, then XLI could move back into a yellow or a red region. MDY and along with IWM also kind of having a bit of a pullback today, with closing some of these gaps we have on the daily. So we had a gap here on the daily, and looks like now with this move today it is closed. So this could be an area to watch for a move up tomorrow, with the moving averages supporting it here. So an area of interest for getting into trades with MDY or with in IWC or IWM. We'll look at IWM just in a second. TLT selling off is not a great sign, and we are, the sell-off went further today by 0.7%. So this means the rates are climbing. We are close to a yearly support, and there is a bit of a gap here, which could, it's a very gappy chart here, so I wouldn't bother marking that gap here. But something to keep an eye on, the direction of TLT and also direction of the US dollar. US dollar going up and TLT going down is bad for certain areas, especially IWM, XBI are two of these areas that get affected by rates. XLV closing today under that 20 moving average, so not a great sign on XLV here. So that needs to, if you were bullish on this, you got to kind of start to do some risk management here on XLV. You can see how this move below the 20-week is does not look very healthy on XLV. Okay, and microcaps still above the 20-day moving average. Let's take a look at the weekly. On the weekly, we have the 200 and the 5-week, which were together and still acting as resistance on IWC, microcaps. IWM was interesting here. We had a rejection from that 5-week moving average, and it was not able to close. Price was not able to close above that, but we have the 5-day kind of curling underneath, and price is still above that and holding this gap up from here. So that is an important gap up in IWM to watch. And a loss of this gap here could mean that the price could start trending back below and possibly enter back into that channel that we were in. So a key point, a key kind of look into here for IWM. So kind of keep a watch on that. I'm going to switch this over to yellow and similar to MDY. It is not in the green yet. price is still above, but you can see the 5-day is curling up. So I mean, overall still a good development, but this could quickly turn into the negative. I'll go through a few more IYT transports. We are on the daily. Let's move to the weekly chart. Transports have that, again, that kind of a rejection look here, with it price could possibly start moving below and take down that 5-week, but so far price is still holding above and holding this gap. So maybe earnings the next few days would dictate dictate this over here, but I will stay this in keep this in green. Price is still a bit above that 5 weeks, so we'll keep the close watch on this and see if we need to change that at all. XLU, the rejection continues. Rejected off of this this level that we had, where there was huge demand and supply, buyers and sellers fighting before, and the sell-off continues. And finally, two more, XBI. So XBI was a bit interesting here. There's an anchored VWAP over here, if you look from the lows, and price closed below that. So that is a bit bearish on XBI. So something to kind of keep an eye on with a bearish development in XBI. Also, the price being below the 5-day and the 20-day is bearish. For ITB, price continues to kind of trend lower, although we are in an area where demand has picked up before. So after the earnings for DHI 2 days ago, price has been trending lower with the false breakout. So we could see some kind of buyers stepping in, but overall the trend is now down for ITB. So something to keep a watch on. Okay, today Tesla reports after close, so we can go through that chart really quickly and see how that is doing. So we can see that Tesla started the day at around 212, and now is selling off to that 196 area where there has been a pickup in demand before. So, you know, the next support over here is not until 191. So that is the anchored VWAP from before. So that is Tesla, guys. Kind of keep a watch on volatility, and this could also bring the market down. The other earnings today is IBM. So I think we're still waiting on those results. Market price hasn't moved much here. But yeah, those are two main earnings for today. And let's see how the market reacts to them and how the overall market takes that. All right, take care.